Hello, today I am going to plant a few things in my garden, plant a few seeds, and I am going to give some just garden updates on things that are growing that I have planted, or things that are perennials that were already growing. So, and I also want to plant these today, probably over here and on the other side of my garden, which I'll show you in a minute. And I also want to plant, let's see, first of all, sorry, these are mammoth sunflowers, and these get really tall. These get 7 to 12 feet tall. And then I want to plant Tithonia. I planted these last year. I want to get some more because these were really pretty last year and grew pretty big. I think I planted them in July or August, maybe August, and they grew in September all the way through October in my garden. So I live in garden zone 8B. So we have a long kind of pot growing season. And then I want to plant some basil. It says you can plant these February through October. I have planted burpee basil before. It was a different variety and I really liked them. But anyway, I'm going to just choose a couple little spots, and I may even start some of these in a seed tray. I'm not sure. So anyway, yeah, so I'm just going to walk around, give a few updates on what's growing, and then just get started on what I need to plant before it gets too hot. So yeah, I want to plant these before it gets too hot today. It's already in the upper 80s in my zone, in my garden zone, upper 80s during the day, and I think today it's even going to be 90 degrees. So I try to come out into the garden to plant early or at the end of the day. It's not where I can't tolerate it in the middle of the day, but it's just too hot. And if you plant things, then you have to end up watering it multiple times that day. So I just try to come outside early, or like on the weekend, or at the end of the day after work, or at the end of the day on the weekend. So one more thing I forgot to mention, I have these Dahlia, Dahlia, however you say it, seeds that I started in little containers, and they're doing really good. So I want to plant a couple of those out in the garden just to see how they tolerate the different soil or different areas. I planted them last year back here, and I did end up getting some very short plants, maybe a foot tall. They should have been 4 to 5 feet tall, and I think it was either the soil conditions or the soil type that I have, which is heavy clay. So I'm kind of dig out around it, fill it up with garden soil, and plant maybe 2 or 3 of those. I think I have 8. I don't want to plant them all today, but just kind of put them in different spots in the garden to figure out where I'm going to plant them for this year, because I really don't know. I took up a lot of space back here, probably like 4 feet in length, and it ended up just aggravating me because it took up that whole area of the garden and it wouldn't grow, and I couldn't really plant anything behind it because it wasn't getting enough sun. So anything that I planted behind the zinnias that were in the front, it just really didn't grow. So I'm going to try to be more careful about making sure they get enough sun and that it's not taking up like a huge area in the garden this time. I have 2 packs of these and 1 pack of these. So I'm going to try to, I don't know how many's in here, so I'm going to spread these out probably on both sides, and then I have another pack of these that I'm going to plant over here on this side. Okay, so I think I'm gonna plant these Tithonia Mexican sunflower, which get really big. They're so pretty. I'm gonna plant a few on this corner, like inside corner right here. Maybe a couple over there too. I don't know how many's in the pack. I'm gonna plant some over here, and then I'm gonna plant, I think in this back corner, these mammoth sunflowers, just because I want the height of these to be the furthest, like the tallest thing to be in the back. I'm gonna plant these next over here. I just planted some of the sunflowers, the mammoth sunflowers over here, the Tithonia Mexican sunflowers over here, and the Mexican sunflowers over here. So I'm gonna maybe plant some more after I pull this clover. I have these are black-eyed Susans that I transplanted from another garden area. This one too. I think this is, if I remember what this is called, I'll come back, but I can't think of what it's called right now. I've got to plant something right here, and these are volunteer, well, these are cosmos that were planted back here last year, and they seeded themselves in this area. And so I have these growing all over here, and I really just want to leave them. I've got one or two that popped up here. And then this is where I planted 2 elephant ears back in March. Okay, over to this side, I just planted the mammoth sunflowers right here. I'm going to water those in a few minutes. And in my last video, I planted a lot of zinnias and cosmos from this pack of seeds I got from Amazon, and you can see that they germinated really well. I mean, I think they were probably growing after 2 days. And so I had seeded another area over here that didn't come up, so I reseeded this area with the same Amazon seeds, and that's what those are over there. And these are saved little baby cosmos seeds from last year, so those are doing really well too. This is probably my favorite part of the garden, because, well, one of the favorite parts, but this is like perennials all right here, except for that. These are black-eyed Susans from last year. This is echinacea. There's one right there. I have one right here, and then 2 or 3, and then there's a few in there. And in September, I think of 2023, I planted these Shasta daisies, and they have been here the whole time, and they are finally starting to bloom. So it's good to see, you know, that these actually are gonna bloom, and I guess come back every year. I'll have to learn how to take care of them and cut them back, but they're so pretty. The other thing I want to go ahead and plant a couple of is these are my dahlia seeds that I planted, floret dahlia seeds that I planted I think in March. So these are pretty big. I honestly don't know when is a good time to plant them into the garden because I typically don't plant in containers, but I'm going to go ahead and I think take a few of these and figure out somewhere that I want to test them out in this area. That way I can start some more in here just in case they don't do well. These are my little celosia that I planted last weekend, and they are germinating and doing pretty well. But these are saved seeds, so I'm happy that these are actually growing. So I'm used to planting in such mass, meaning just putting seeds in the garden and then, you know, watering them and letting them germinate, that it's not typical for me to plant like in containers. But these are the floret dahlia seeds that I planted in March. I started these from seed. I saved these seeds. Well, I ordered these seeds, saved them that I ordered from last year, and I saved them so I'd have some to plant this year. So I'm gonna pick a couple spots to put these. I think I'm gonna plant 3 because if they don't do well, I'm gonna be not super disappointed, but I don't want these to like not do well. I mean, that happens when you garden. You have to like accept that things don't always go well, but I hope that these make it. I'm gonna dig like a bigger hole so they have loose, like well draining soil, because I planted them before and it was not. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then the very last thing, I'm just gonna sprinkle a few basil seeds over here on the front of my garden because it needs full sun, but they won't be in like full hot sun all day. So okay. Well, it's hot. I feel like my hair is sticking to my body. So I'm going to water in like everything that I planted. I may go ahead and plant another. I may actually just go ahead and plant all of the dahlia plants over where I planted that other one, because I may just let that be like an experimental little patch to see if they come up, because there's a lot of sun over there, and I don't think they'll really be in the way of anything else. But if I need to plant something behind it, I'm gonna have to kind of get started before those take off, which I hope those take off, because they did not take off last year. So anyway, that's all I have. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.